Happy Friday, everybody. End of a great week of learning. Everybody's hopefully doing well, feeling good. Do want to go through some diagnostic Excel things today. I think we have our first winner in a seventh grade class, and that is Miss Corey's class. We believe is all diagnosed. In fact, I checked over it today, so we are all diagnosed. So what I've decided, and so because donuts are not that expensive, and so I have decided to go the first two classes at each grade level diagnosed. We will get donuts for because I have a handy dandy. I was checking out Diagnostic Excel today, so I have a handy dandy chart here. Who hasn't started, but I do have some classes that are very close. Miss Neff, I think we're super close. Talking diagnosed. I think we got an email that she was, but I think I have to recheck somebody. Looks like Miss Ram's class, sixth grade, is very close. It looks like Teacher Salmon's class, very close. Looks like Ms. Zarabinsky's class, very, very close. And Mr. Andre's class, very, very close. Ms. Miller's class, very, very close. So we've got a lot of close ones coming in here. For seventh grade, Ms. Martini's class, super close. Ms. Webb's class, super close. Ms. Bennett's class is super close. Ms. Courtney's class is very close. Ms. Reel's class, very close. Ms. Petronov's class, very close. Mr. Dawson's class, very close. I said Miss Corey, they are done. Let's see, eighth grade, it's real close. Was Miss McGee's class, super close. Miss Golnick's class, super, super close. Let's see here. Miss Eckert's class is pretty close. And let's see. Miss Robay's class, really close. She's not been there, so I'm very impressed with that. Your class is pulling through. So it's still close. So donuts next week, top two classes. Then for the multi-grade, Miss Best Buddies, Laughing at West Lane, new advisory. You're still working through it and doing pretty well. And so let's make sure that we get everything straightened up. I also have added on a prize. So by January the 31st, everybody who is diagnosed, so I can see it. So I can go on IXL and see it. So that means who's diagnosed, who's not. I will put them all in a drawing, and we'll pull out the $50 winner. And they will also pull out I'm going to pull out a second $25 winner. And so we're going to add that on there. And then also too, we want to make sure everybody's doing well, going to their board. So we may put in some IXL competitions throughout afterwards to kind of say who's there. So I might just show up in your classroom, look to see who's diagnosed, and then you get a treat. And so what do you think about that? So that's kind of where we're at right now with IXL. And so we will go from there. Now let's get to announcements. All right, today is Friday, January 21, and these are your morning announcements. The mission of West Lane Middle School is to reveal the genius of each Wildcat through a culture of joy, respect, and excellence. Let's mask up. Let's make sure we're Wildcat ready, everybody. So first off, what that means is our masks are on. So this is the most important part. This is about like what we do. So masks above our nose, below our chin. Eighth grade, you can't the next week, seventh and eighth grade, we're going to maybe start a mask, bag, and phone, and leaving class detention that I'm going to have to handle because it's just like we have to be ready. And I think sometimes you guys, the teacher says, you're like, I'm not going to do it. Well, then that's great. Then you'll be after school with us. And ultimately, your parents will be here with you, walking around school, I guess. I mean, that's what you want to do. But our phones are put in our locker for seventh and eighth grade. And make sure our bags are put away. All bags, there's a strap. And it's not a strappable binder. It's a bag. So put it in your locker. Sixth graders, put your phones in your locker. Make sure you take your coats off. Stay a while. Guys, leave your coats in your locker. Seventh and eighth grade, we are a temperate building now. We don't have too many highs or lows. So our any kind of coats, put them in your locker. No blankets. Don't even bring them to school. So all that house slippers, don't wear them. They're not wearing them here at school, period. And if we're going to have a continuing issue with this, then if any of your parents could come in and get bothered at their work to come in and bring you things. So I shouldn't have to talk about this all the time, but let's make sure we are correctly dressed each day. All right, so our schedule today at the end of the day is WIN today, advisory WIN 5, 6, 7, 8. First meeting next week, yearbook 24th on Monday the 24th. Student Alliance for Equity meets Tuesday, January 25th. Don't forget the musicians are still having the day. For those of you trying out choir for eighth grade choirs, again, Ms. Flick, Mr. Ronick, Mr. McElroy is over here to listen to you. No tutoring next week either. So we've kind of been looking at grades and whatnot. We are going to push the tutoring back to the next week afterwards. All right, all food should be in the cafetorium. No food should be eaten outside the cafetorium. It is time for IXL. We've got some of these things on here. And so we're going to, again, continue to reward kids who are just diagnosed. I'm not asking you to be a certain level, because once you go onto your wall, you work on things, your levels automatically go up. So we only have, after this, we're just kind of in maintenance and learning mode. And so that makes it much easier to come out of doing that. As soon as you need your ID at all times, especially the cafeteria, we have now printed the final parts of the ID. I know that we're still getting some pictures, but everybody though that's either asked me or we didn't know about, we went ahead and just printed off your ID. And so by lunch on Friday, even if you don't eat lunch, you still need your ID. We have them up here. We'll get you a lanyard. We'll get you an ID. After this week, 2 things will be taken into effect. One, if you're in the cafeteria and you don't have your ID, you have to eat last. The end. Because we've given every person their ID. We made sure they had their ID. They told their advisory teacher they had had or didn't have an ID. We printed them off. We gave them to you. The end. And if you're going to purchase, like if you lose your ID, any parts of it, so what we will do is we will you can purchase a new ID for $3, and you'll be able to purchase a lanyard and a holder for $2. The holder kit would be $5. If you just need the ID, it's just $3. And I think we'll probably put a Roebuck piece to that as well. I would think like 20 for an ID just for us to reprint it if we need to, because these are not cheap, these little cards, but we did want to go through and make sure everybody had one at the first time. So everybody has an ID now. If you're not picking it up at lunch, then at some point we'll probably have to start calling down kids to get their IDs. But right now we have them all, and so we need them for breakfast and lunch. Although I would suggest you do them in your locker. It's not as time crunchy in the morning as it is at lunch. So if you do take it with you, make sure you bring them back. Cell phones, lockers, not anywhere else, period. 9:15 to 4:20. Some of you have kind of like resisted this trend, and some of you then had your phone sitting for a week, and your parents were okay with us leaving them here for a week. And then if they don't come back, we'll keep them, and then we'll just have them locked up until they do come in. And so, and not only that, if your parents are upset, they can be upset with you, not us, because we have a rule. We've told you the rule. All right, win time. Right after this, greet and share. And again, our big time here is diagnostic IXL. A couple times. Remember, we're gonna get diagnosed, and if you're diagnosed, work on the wall. So that's kind of where we're at. I do want breaking news here. Breaking news here. Breaking news here. Yearbook is next Tuesday, not Monday. Yearbook is next Tuesday, not Monday. Just got that on my Apple Watch. I'm filming this on Thursday evening, just to let you know. So I'm not certain who won the IU Purdue game. I'm going to assume because it was at Indiana, they won. And so either I'll be happy or sad. And Mr. Garrett will be happy or sad. Mr. Brewer and all the IU, Ms. Corey, Ms. Kleeman, all the IU people will be either happy or sad. And all the Purdue people will be happy or sad. It's just it is what it is. I don't know what happened. So right now it's a Thursday. So breaking news, the yearbook is starting on Tuesday. All right. Don't forget our motto, every Wildcat, every day gets better. I know it's a little longer announcement, but I need to go over a few things. So have a great Friday, everybody.